Hello ladies and gents, I'm going to go through the demo first just to show you what the assistant can do, and then we'll get into the whole Makecom setup.
Hello, this is Ellen. You've reached Henrik's agency. How can I help?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And how can I assist you today?
I wanted to buy a car for $1.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a steal. But unfortunately, I'm here to help with booking appointments with Henrik, who's an AI and automation consultant. Are you looking to book a consultation with him?
Alright, can we book at 1 p.m. on Tuesday?
This'll just take a sec. It seems that Henrik is unavailable at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. I do have slots available at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and 9 a.m. though. Would one of these times work for you?
Yeah, that works. Can we do 8 a.m.?
Could you please provide me with your name and email to finalize the booking?
Yeah, my name is Henrik and my email is h@gmail.com.
Hold on a sec. Perfect, Henrik. Your appointment with Henrik is booked for 8 a.m. on Tuesday. You'll receive an email confirmation shortly at h@gmail.com. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Oh, that's it. Great. Thank you.
Absolutely. No problem at all, Henrik. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need further assistance. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Today we're going to go through my Makecom setup. So I had to use the headset because when I was having my phone next to the microphone, I was getting interference here. So that's why the headset, but it'll work the same with the phone, just like per my first video. So if you guys recall, the last video I said we'll go through the Makecom setup. I'll show you there's actually 3 different versions of it. And there is the version 1, then there is version 2, which is the one I just used in the demo. And then there is version 3 that I've been working on. It's actually taken me a while longer to do this video because of that. I am going to show you guys version 2, which worked better. And the reason being is in the API documentation, there's actually a thing called slots. And slots, what it does is it gets the users all of bookable slots between a date-time range. And what that means for us is that between a specific time that you give it and an end time that you give it, it actually follows that structure instead of going to the left and right. That was the main issue in the first setup. So instead of using slot availabilities, we're going to use slots for our second version. And then the response specifically sticks to that day. So see, like that's the 13th, so it sticks to the 13th and doesn't go outside the range, which is great. So then let's go to I'll put this into the description as well so you guys can follow along with that. Essentially, I might actually jump to the HTTP node just so you guys know what I'm like, because I'm talking about it now. So I've just changed it to slots. I've kept everything here that I've used before. My user ID from video 1, start time is that, the end time is this, and the great thing about it is that when I get my output, it essentially is all the slots that are available for that day. So in my scenario, I have 16 hours where I can be booked in for, and on that Tuesday, as you guys saw on the call, I've only got 2 busy times, which is 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. So that means I've got 14 other hours where I can be free. So now that we know how this works and what the idea is and what we're using here, let's now go to the start. And the prompt here is GP24 Preview. And I've just told some context. So we have just asked the user when they would like to book a meeting. You will be provided with a current date and their response. Instructions, you must output the start and end times in JSON format. Output example. The rules must always be 5 a.m. Now this is 5 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. where I usually start. It's because again, it was moving back 2 hours. So it was going forward 2 hours to make up for the time difference. So that I had to put it back 2 hours. And then this is what is actually getting put into it first. And then this is happening next. So the thing that's happening here is that we are giving it again the time, so it knows what's happening, so it shouldn't book into the past. And this is when the user will like to book. And what we do is then go into here, go function, parameters, times, and then select that, and this pops up. I've chosen 350 tokens, temperature as low, and I have chosen the JSON object as the output. I haven't actually tested it if maybe I could get rid of this instruction and might not even need this, and we'll just output it in JSON anyway. To be honest, I've spent so much time in Make.com for the past few days. It works right now, so I'm just happy as is. So what we're doing here is we're doing the same thing as before, passing it, getting the end and start time. We are putting it into our HTTP request. And then from here, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So the idea is that when we get to this point, when these two branches, I have 16 here because I have 16 possible hours where I can be free. So what I've said is if the result from this is equal to or greater than 16, that means I'm available for the whole day. And what then gets sent to Vapi is that all time slots are available for that day between 7 and 11 p.m. And if I'm not, so if I've got a slot busy, it will do then this. So instead of using up tokens, it's a little bit more efficient. So if the numeric operator is less than 16, so I have a busy slot, what will then happen is it will go through this. So I'll just, before we get to this branch, let's go to the steps here. So the issue is that in this scenario, what I had to do was to map the data slots and the times, but what actually happens is that this part here is different each time. So you can't select this node right here. So you can't do that because the 2024-05-14 will be different the next run because a person might ask not for the Tuesday, for the next day. So it would now be the 15th. And all of a sudden now this variable now doesn't exist and it can't use it. So what we had to do was to set up a variable where it will format the start time to this. So the months, so the years, the months and the days, it will format to that without the time. So the hours and the minutes. And what will then happen then is, and it will set it to this variable called day. And then what you can do is you can use a get function and put the data slots time in there, which is, so you can put the data slots in there, which is these two. And this next part is the day that we're given it. So it will be whatever this is then. This is like, that day is this guy right here. It's this one right here. So it will iterate over all the free available times there. And what then happens is this then node, what it does is it counts how many of the bundles there are in this iterator. So in this particular case that we had, there are 14 bundles. That means I got 2 busy slots. And then that means that I got a busy slot at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., which is what you guys saw on the calendar. And then what I did here was to actually get all the, I had to transform all this again back into JSON, put it into this prompt right here. So the prompt is the data, the context. I'm just going to leave it here for a sec so you guys can just copy it. Instructions. The output example. And you could also have it set up differently. At the moment, I've got it set up like this. And I've got to ignore the +2 completely because all these, when it gets chucked through LLM, it'll actually change it. Instead of being 9, it'll change it to 11. So you've got to tell it just to ignore it, so it won't add the 2 extra hours onto the 9, so it won't be at 11 o'clock. And it just leaves it as, so if you guys have a look, there's actually an empty slot between these two, the 12 and the 4. So that means there's an empty slot there, and it extracts that busy slot and then puts it into here. Show you how the booking actually works. So normal webhook from our Vapi setup. So it's from our booking function, and we need the name of the email, the startTime, and then I think I did actually change that. Let me go into it. Yeah, so I said the available booking date and time that was chosen during the call, for example, 10 AM this Sunday. And then what happens is we are using GPT-4. I've chosen the assistant here. I'm not doing anything extra. Current time again, message, so whatever came through. So the decided time here comes through. And what I've done is taken 2 hours away from the time, again for time zone reasons. So if you're in GMT +2 like I am, you would then take 2 hours away. If you are -7, say in the US, then this would even be +7 for you. And then the output time is this, so that's the start time. And then the output start time must be past the current time, usually the closest day mentioned. I did put that in there. You guys can change the wording on that. Press OK. And then we're using the same idea. We're just passing the JSON here just to get that split up into 2 objects. And the request that we are making is this one here. API key is the same in the parameters. I've chosen body type as raw, content type as JSON. And this is the whole thing that we are sending to cal.com to book our meeting. So we need the start time, which is here. We need the name of the prospect, of the lead, the email of the lead. And I will put this for you guys in the description so you don't have to muck around and type all this out and things like that. So yeah, and then the only extra thing that really happens is if the status code, so from here, status code from the first bundle is 200, and then that's been successful. And if it's 500, that means it was booked. I should probably put a third one in to say that it didn't succeed for one way or another. But at the moment, this is the setup for the booking scenario. I hope you guys learned something. I did work, this took a long time to set up and try and figure out and try and make it all work with cal.com. I've actually got a different setup that doesn't use cal.com, and it's so much easier because it just uses Google Calendar and you don't have to fluff around with as much stuff. I actually find Google Calendar to be much easier to work with. So unless you guys have any other ideas or any tips on how to make this better, I would actually love to hear your thoughts, see if maybe we can improve it. And if you want to collaborate and make this build even better, then yeah, shoot me a message on LinkedIn or even book a calendar slot and just say you want to work on this. If you are a business owner and you're interested in setting up something like this for yourself, I can set it up for you in about a day. So yeah, just book a call in my calendar, and I'm actually full on my students this month. I'll probably have slots available towards the start of next month. So if you'd like, you can start messaging me on LinkedIn, and then maybe we can set up a lesson or two to help you out and get started in some low-code platforms. All right, cheers guys, and signing out.